evening, and welcome to Sporlitics, where sports and politics mix and mingle. I'm Stacey Johnson. Joining me tonight is Aguna, the Nigerian moderate Republican, Keith, the constitutional conservative, Stephen, the independent thinker. I don't know what he's showing.
I'm showing the Constitution.
God, oh, the Constitution. That's Keith's book, right?
Yeah, I was doing that in homage with him because we're on the same page when it comes to this book.
Okay, good. So we've got a packed show for you tonight. Oh my gosh. Minnesota State Representative, actually the Speaker of the Minnesota House, was killed. And her and her husband, and they made headlines days earlier. She made headlines days earlier over her vote on benefits for illegal aliens. Hortman was the lone House Democrat in Minnesota to vote for the repeal as authorities arrested her killer yesterday. The GOP senator deletes posts about Minnesota shootings after an uproar. They said, quote, "This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way," Senator Mike Lee said in one message. Stephen, with NASCAR, California Senator Alex Padilla may have been mistaken for an attacker at the press conference for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem in Los Angeles as he was brought to the floor and handcuffed. The Oilers at the Panthers tonight, NHL Stanley Cup Final Game 6. Florida seeks to clinch the championship again as Edmonton turns to Skinner for help. How did the 250-year Army anniversary parade on President Trump's birthday go? Were you watching? The Oklahoma Thunder leads the Indiana Pacers 3 games to 2 games. The New York City comptroller and mayoral candidate Brad Lander was released after arrest by immigration officers inside courthouse. A Trump administration lawyer told a federal appeals court today, that judges have no power to review the president's decision to federalize the California National Guard over Governor Gavin Newsom's objection, and asked the judge to throw out an order requiring Trump to return command of those troops to the governor, according to CNN. U.S. President Donald Trump, who issued a series of warnings today to Iran, including calling the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei an easy target and demanding unconditional surrender. President Trump met today with his national security team, according to the White House. That and more, if we can fit it in. First up, Stephen with NASCAR. Stephen, I don't have, unfortunately, a NASCAR clip for you, but
that's okay, Stacey.
Talk.
Well, we have SVG. He's new to NASCAR, and his name is Shane Van Gersher, whatever his name is, but we always call him SVG, and he's awesome. And he's awesome at road courses. He started on the pole. I should have known better. I took a couple of the guys right behind him to win, but he is something else. He started on the pole. Excuse me. I've got a technical issue.
Yeah, right. Turn your sound off.
No. I had a technical issue. No, he's great, and I should have taken him, and he's awesome there. And but last week I said, well, they got to go to Mexico City to race. I wish they could race here. But everybody knows I'm a sucker for a road course, and this was a road course, and a lot of it was raining. And did the rain stop the race? No. I wish every race was a road course. I absolutely love it. These new NASCAR bodies and everything, it's perfect for road courses. And they can put on special tires for the rain. Take them off, put on slicks when it dries up. They have a windshield wiper. It's great. Other races stops. And this, you cannot go wrong with a race like this. Shane started at the front. He won the race, and I should have put a lot on him. but I got a couple, little twinkles every now and then. Not too much. I did okay, but next week is Pocono, and that's a huge race too. And this is Pennsylvania. It's 3 turns, and it's a huge track. This is going to be a good race as well. This is good for the new cars, and it's exciting. Because a lot of the races aren't, and that's what everybody's a little bit upset about. I hope this will be a great race, and if you're going to put any money on anything, look for Denny Hamlin. He's the best here at Pocono, and Denny Hamlin, and maybe Larson, but Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace, because they're kind of, and Bubba Wallace has been coming on. I think he got a top 10, top 12 this week, in the last week and the last week. So he's, Denny Hamlin owns his team with Michael Jordan. So I think this could be a good track for both of them, and this could be a really good. I hope it's a really good race. I think it will be. This road course was just over the top, wonderful race. But again, it was on Prime, and we can't pause it. We can't fast forward it. We can't rewind it, and we can't tape it. We can't. It's ridiculous. But this is Prime, and I don't know. I know a lot of people have Prime, but it would be nice if it was on NBC or something like that.
You mean
and
like
have a regular
Amazon
race.
Prime? You mean Amazon Prime?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank
And
you.
it's a drag because a lot of people don't have it. It's like, I know NASCAR needs more money, but they're almost going to run everybody out if it's going to be pay-per-view, basically what it is now, if you have to buy Prime. I'm fine with it because I'll watch a race no matter what I have to do. But there's a lot of people that are on the fence, and they might say, no, thanks, I'm done.
Okay. Well, let me go to the NBA, Oklahoma Thunder. I mean, you always talk about bets, Stephen, but I don't bet. Does anybody else bet on games here?
I mean, even if you bet $1, it's just fun to have a little bit of skin in the game. The way I look at it, I'm not going to lose. I'm not
But
really
you don't
going to
have
lose.
any skin in the game because you have no say over how the game ends
No,
up.
you have no say over it, and a lot of it is it's just sports entertainment. So you definitely now you don't have any say, and you can't really judge how a game is going to go. A game is going to go however the people who control the money want the game to go. With NFL,
You're saying there's a conspiracy for all games?
No, it's not a conspiracy. It's a known fact that it's sports entertainment in the same category as professional wrestling is. Professional basketball, professional football is sports entertainment, just like wrestling, and that's known. That's nothing I'm making up. That's a known fact.
So
the only way you can actually win anything is to see how if they want Hulk Hogan to win or Macho Man to win.
Hulk Hogan isn't even wrestling anymore. Hulk Hogan.
No, I was making a
like
an
very
example.
old. How old is Hulk Hogan?
About my age.
What age?
About my age. Yeah,
No,
but what I'm saying is, it's basically when you bet on football or basketball or boxing, you're going against a conglomerate that they want to win. As long as they can win, if they got 5% more of the money on that one game coming towards them, they won millions. That's all I'm saying.
Hulk Hogan is 71 years old. I don't think he's wrestling anymore. I don't even think
he's not. I was using it as an example from the past.
Yeah, but
I don't know who's wrestling now because I haven't seen wrestling in a while.
You're 70. You're around Steven's age. Keith and Steven are around the same age.
Yeah, we're 71.
Wow.
All right, let me share my screen with the Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Can I share my screen? Okay, there we go.
So the moral of the story is don't bet too much money on basketball or football.
Beautiful bounce pass to Williams. 2 gorgeous assists from Hartenstein, and the Thunder up 3.
Now, if you're Indiana, we've talked about this. You were one of the fastest teams, but you got to slow down.
Gilgeous-Alexander didn't slow down.
He is averaging 4 screen assists. That's how you win a series, folks. That's 8 points or more. And it gives your MVP a downhill surge to the cup. Look out, Shea's coming.
He thought there was contact. SGA in the front court. Goes against Shepard. Lamp is good. Coast to
I'm going to stop sharing. What do you have on this?
Me, I saw, excuse me? I didn't think they were going to do as well as the Miami Dolphins, but they did, and I was shocked. And if they keep going the way they are, I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup, if I'm being honest.
Stacey, I keep pulling for the Pacers, but I don't think they're going to win. Forever, they said Oklahoma should win, and I guess they will. I don't know. I don't know. It's so confusing with
win over Miami.
No, nobody can beat Miami right now in the NBA. Nobody. You're right. You're correct. Thank you, Todd, for clearing that up for us.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear.
Nobody wants to play Miami right now.
Todd has to say about sports, and
right.
I mean,
excuse me,
nobody.
Whatever. I'll just let you be dumb then.
No, you've enlightened me,
yeah,
and now I'm starting to burn.
Please let me be dumb. All right. What else do we have with sports?
Hockey.
Oh, yeah. Hockey. Please talk about Edmonton and Florida.
I just did, but whatever. Go on.
Florida is just a freaky team. I'm so
going to win this again. This is the second time they win the stand. They get to drink out the cup.
I think they will. I think it's going to be tonight. They've just amazed me, and I thought it was going to be a Canadian team. And it's not over yet. I mean, the Oilers, they're about not a 50-50 team, but it's close. But the Panthers at home tonight, they can close it out tonight.
Are you kidding
They're
me?
minus 170. So the people that know really think they're going to win. So it's going to be I think it's going to be the Panthers win it all again. And I was really thinking it was going to be the Oilers, but it wasn't. But it looks like the Panthers. Who did you have? The Dolphins?
No, dumb. I had the Devils winning the World Series.
Well, you would pick the Devils, Todd. That makes sense.
I don't understand.
I'm taking the Angels. I'm taking the Angels. You can have the Devils.
All right, so that's tonight. It started at 8 o'clock. I was trying to find a clip to put on, but we can't infringe on certain networks, and they're not.
What about the FIFA playing in Philadelphia?
Right now?
Yeah, you're not a sports person, so you wouldn't know.
Oh, so FIFA's in Philly right now playing soccer?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to try this again.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you're halfway there.
And they don't play soccer, dumb. They play baseball.
Who? Is he still playing like he don't know what sports is, and he talks about football when he means baseball? Is he still doing? He's still doing that, right? He's talking about golf. He's still messing around. He's too clever. You're too clever for me, Todd.
Yeah, but he thinks he's saying all these great jokes, and people are just laughing and laughing and laughing and having.
I just want to have an intelligent conversation with him. I guess I ought to wish in one hand and do something else in the other.
What?
I want to have an intelligent conversation with you. Maybe I should wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which one gets filled up first.
That's impossible. You can't have an intelligent conversation.
I don't know why. He seems intelligent. He's wearing glasses.
He's so full of hate.
Demons.
Maybe those glasses probably aren't even prescription. He's just faking it. Like everything else he does, man.
His
got a fake beard.
Everything.
He got a fake beard.
That is the devil, and that is the devil's little sister.
I think you're projecting, Todd.
His hatred of America overrides everything.
America or just you?
America.
America.
All right.
America.
Let me move on.
America.
Because if I shared your views, you would like me. You would like Stephen and me. If we shared your views.
Why do you include that white boy? You can't do anything on your own. You would like me.
The devil would like us too, Keith. The devil would like us too if we went along with what he wanted.
Yep.
Yep. But I don't want any part of that party, man.
All right,
Lord,
thank
the
you.
devil.
I don't want any part of the party. I want to
No part of that party, bro. That's like a Diddy party. That you sound like a Diddy party, man.
Oh wow, Todd.
Does she sound like a Diddy party? This racist idiot right here.
She's not racist. She's a proud
Oh,
American.
okay.
She's not racist. Just because she's white don't make she racist.
She's beautiful, sir. She's beautiful.
All right,
Of course,
here we
you
go.
would think
They've been
that, but
pelted
she
with
doesn't look
rocks and
like
bricks.
you.
Their cars have been set on fire. Molotov cocktails have been used. We have seen people throw bottles and hammers at them. We've also seen that they have been attacked and verbally spit on or punched or assaulted, and it's just not acceptable. The Department of Homeland Security and the officers and the agencies and the departments and the military people that are working on this operation will continue to sustain and increase our operations in this city. We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country and what they have tried to insert into this city. So I want to say thank you to every single person that has been able to do this. Also, I want to talk specifically to the rioters and to the politicians in Los Angeles.
Look what they're doing to him.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty, how they have been targeted, and how their families have been put in jeopardy, and that we're not going to allow that anymore as well. That those individuals who are purposely endangering our ICE agents and our law enforcement officers and their families will be prosecuted for what they are doing as far as perpetuating violence on them.
Okay, so what you just saw was Senator Alex Padilla trying to talk and ask a question of the Homeland Secretary, United States Homeland Secretary, and he was removed from the room, put to the floor, and handcuffed. He was later released, but that's what he was doing. So, Todd, you were saying something. I was trying to stop you from saying something. So
no,
that
I wanted them to see in real time. That's why I was talking in real time, how she kept talking and ignored. And I wanted them to see it because these are two dum-dums. I didn't see that. No, she didn't see that. She was
We saw it.
I can say it again.
No, that's okay.
We saw it. We know she kept talking.
Okay, so she ignored that what was happening in the room. And this is a sitting congressman. So this tells you what kind of a devil she is. This man is asking, now this is a sitting congressman. This isn't Stephen or Keith asking a question. This is a congressman asking her a question, and he gets tackled. Now I know Stephen and Keith pretend they're Americans and we're patriots. That was non-patriotic. There was nothing about that says this is America. What that says is this is Russia or China. Anytime a sitting congressman is taken out like that, right in your face, and I don't care what you say, think, or do, that was wrong. That reminded me of the 60s, how they were doing black people just on a daily basis. He did nothing threatening. He did not. And what they tried to come up with this line that these idiots take for gospel. He attacked. He was approaching her in a threatening, all that kind of white talk, that kind of, I felt threatened. And so he was taken to, this was beyond outrageous. Anybody who saw that would say, wait, why are they doing that to him? Tell me what he did to deserve that. I'll wait for that answer.
Yeah,
out of order.
Yeah, we will answer you. We will answer you, Todd. We have an answer for you.
In a press conference, you dumb
Keith and I will answer you. We have an answer for you.
Out of order because he was black. That makes him out of order.
It's not about color.
Okay, I'm going to control who answers who next. Go ahead, Keith.
Right.
Answer Todd.
Right.
Yes, like I said.
And don't say he was out of order.
If he is a congressman, a sitting congressman, he ought to know the order. He ought to follow the rules. The
What
rule
rules?
of order.
Tell me what rules.
Ordered.
What
The rules are when she is finished talking and she opens the floor for questions, then, and he has any time he can ask a question, anytime he can confront her in other ways. He didn't have to do that in the middle of her speech or in the middle of her talking. Simple as that.
Oh,
okay. So no, don't ask him anything. Let me get Steven. Steven.
Yeah,
Like
Keith, you're exactly right. We all know it. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Steven, I'm asking you a question. When you talk like this and you talk over me, you're not going against the rules.
Oh, I thought it was my turn to talk because you.
No, because I haven't asked you.
I thought you.
So when you're going against the rules of this show and you talk over me, that means
I wasn't trying to.
That means I have the right to have someone come over your house and tackle you to the ground and and handcuff you because you went against the rules of this environment. Is that correct?
Stacey. No, Stacey, I didn't know I was talking over you, dear heart. Bless your heart. I didn't know I was talking over you. I thought I was answering. I thought it was my turn to speak. I didn't know you were gonna be like that. Well, this guy, like he said, he needed to wait his turn and then say something. He didn't. While she's talking, he wants to interrupt her. But Stacey, you don't like people to interrupt other people, do you, Stacey? So he interrupted and he walked towards her. She is the head of what, DHS or whatever. She's a head. They don't know who the hell this guy is. They couldn't have been Todd. They didn't know he was a senator. So when he lunged before, they did their job. I'd have put a bullet in his ass because he was invading her space. He didn't even announce that he was going to be there that day, Stacey. He didn't. Wait a minute, Todd. He didn't announce that he was going to be there, Stacey. That's all he had to do. And then he could have waited his turn, and then he could have said something or asked a question, but he didn't. So what happened to him should have happened to him. And all these little tears he cries, and all the little tears you cry, and little tears Todd cries, falls on deaf ears. We don't care. We're tired of your side. We're tired of your garbage. We're tired of your grandstanding because all it is grandstanding what he did. He wants to get his face out in public. He wants to be the next guy that could maybe take over your party, Stacey and Todd, your Communist Party. He wants to be the next guy. Look how the Trump people treat him. They put him in handcuffs. Like I said, he's lucky he didn't get a bullet between his eyes because that's what he deserved. You don't advance on people like that. You can't. He interrupted. He was rude to start with, like Todd is.
Okay,
I rest my case. That you have no case against me, Stacey. I rest my case.
Okay. I'm not a Democrat, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's number one. And you're not a communist. Number two.
I'm not a communist.
Yeah, you're not any of those things that he keeps saying you are. Why don't you have some goons go over to his house and tackle him?
You're on the side of the communists and the Democrat Party every time. You argue with me every time. You and Todd are on the side of the Democrat Communist Party. Every time you go against Keith and I. We are.
Okay, you got to stop talking.
Oh, you cut me off.
Yeah, because
communists cut people's speech.
You are cutting me off by not allowing me to respond to you. So I'm going to respond to you. I'm not a communist. I'm a proud American citizen. I love the United States of America. And I love democracy and the Constitution of the United States. So to say that is incorrect. And just because I don't agree, and I'm trying to illustrate another side that I think would benefit you and maybe appeal to your sense of common sense, you accuse me of being something I'm not.
By simply saying, to make it perfectly clear, hey, you interrupted me, so what should happen to you? If you think, this is what Stacey's saying in plain English, if you think because he interrupted her, so he should have had a bullet between his eyes.
She was given a speech. It's not for him to walk up towards her and start saying anything, start yelling at her. He needs to wait. He needs to announce that he's a senator.
All right.
This was all a stunt, Todd. It was a stunt. That's all the Democrats have are stunts.
All right.
They don't have anything concrete. They have stunts.
Okay.
That's all the Democrat Party has.
You keep
You have nothing. You have nothing that the American people want.
You have nothing. You have a stunt.
You have nothing that the American people want.
You have nothing. You have a stunt.
You have stunts.
Okay.
It was a stunt.
So let me.
And then people like Stacy and you can say, "Oh, this guy was treated poorly."
This boy won't shut up. He keeps repeating himself like he's mentally unstable. You
Okay,
said this 10 times.
Okay, please stop. I'm going to show this. This is what Senator. He's a United States sitting senator. He shares,
and she knows that
he's a little baby. He's a little baby.
He shares with the executive branch and
before
the
you
judicial
play
branch.
that, let's say she knows who he is.
Let's watch him get thrown down to the ground. They didn't throw him down.
Hey, dum.
This is what he
knows
had
exactly
to say.
who he is.
Excuse
they
me.
all did.
Hey,
and
let's watch us cry.
Escorted him in. Dum.
What he
crocodile tears.
Today.
Crocodile tears.
Please be quiet so people can hear.
I was so hurt. I hurt my vacation.
I heard something so blatantly un-American from the Secretary of Homeland Security, a cabinet official. Of course, I was compelled, both as a senator and as an American, to speak up. But before I could even get out my question, I was physically and aggressively forced out of the room. Even as I repeatedly announced I was a United States senator. And I had a question for the secretary.
Did you hear that,
You've seen the video. I was
Stop talking over, Todd.
pulled, struggled to maintain my balance. I was forced to the ground, on my knees, and
Lord,
on my chest. And as I was handcuffed and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, "Why am I being detained?" Not once did they tell me why. I pray you never have a moment like this. But I will tell you, in that moment, a lot of questions came to my mind. First of all, where are they taking me? Because I know I'm not just being escorted out of the building. Am I being arrested here? And what will a city already on edge from being militarized think when they see their United States senator being handcuffed just for trying to ask a question? And what will my wife think? What will our boys think? And I also remember asking myself, if this aggressive escalation is the result of someone speaking up against the abuses and overreach of the Trump administration, was it really worth it? But colleagues, how many Americans in our nation's history have marched, have protested, have shed blood, even lost their lives?
It's not going to work, Stacy.
How many Americans have served in wars overseas to protect our freedoms here at home? If what you saw happen can happen when the cameras are on, imagine not only what can happen, but what is happening in so many places where there are no cameras. Colleagues, this isn't about me. It's about every single American who values their constitutional rights.
Okay. I want to get Keith in this. Keith, this was your United States
Oh,
Senator.
wait a minute. Keith already went.
No, this not after. Everyone's going after there. You saw certain videos. The first video you saw, Keith went. This is the second video. We're going to have Keith go again. Keith is a resident, and he is currently in Los Angeles, California right now. He was right where the first protest started when it began last week. Keith, your sitting United States Senator was escorted out and treated like maybe some people you know from the 60s and the that African Americans went through during the civil rights movement. What do you have to say about that And is what he's saying very similar to what African Americans and Caucasians who joined them and Latinas who joined them went through during the civil rights movement?
Well, I can honestly say, I think Todd would even agree with me on this one. I didn't see any fire hoses turned on him. I didn't see any police dogs tearing him up. I didn't see any sticks, police hitting over the head with sticks.
No.
I didn't see any of that happen to him. So I'm going to rest my case on that.
I just saw him be thrown to the ground.
Todd, can you side with me on this? Todd, can you side with me?
I can side with you that he was thrown to the ground. That's what I can side with you on. For no reason.
He wasn't thrown to the ground.
And this is my question.
Where were the fire?
He wasn't thrown to the ground. He wasn't mishandled.
Police dogs.
They treated him nicely.
They would have to
Where
go
were
outside.
the police dogs? Where were the
They treated him nicely.
He would have to go outside and get those water hoses off of a fire truck. And he would have to go to the station and get those dogs that they stick on black.
I
know they should be ashamed of themselves, Keith, but they
got to stop them from talking.
They don't know any shame.
This is the thing here. They're too stupid to even say, maybe they went too far. He was only asking a question. Maybe they should not have reacted like that. But they don't. This is how you can tell a devil when you're listening to him. They have to make up something like, he was aggressive. He was going to charge her. He was going to tackle her. And they didn't know who he was.
Can I say something, Stacey?
Not yet. You're next.
You can't, Lucifer. So they knew exactly who he was. They didn't care who that coon was because he looked like Keith. Not interested. And so
was he a coon?
Out of line.
I didn't know I look Mexican.
Out of line.
Yeah, was he a coon or a Mexican? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Do I look Hispanic to you?
I know.
Okay, thank you. Let him finish, and then it's Stephen.
Now, if you are dark, you stay in your place. You don't ask this white woman nothing. You understand me? Shut up before you get thrown in jail. That's the attitude then, and that's the attitude now. Anybody with common sense would see that and say, hey, they went a little too far. So I can't make up some narrative like, oh, he asked a question when he wasn't supposed to. He wasn't proper protocol. That's nonsense. So you get thrown in jail for not having proper protocol. This was not in session in Congress. This was at a press conference where you're supposed to ask questions when this woman is lying through her teeth. And
okay, thank you, Cousin Todd.
Questions.
You can't talk the entire show.
He got thrown to the ground, and this is a pattern.
You're not saying anything. You're chasing your tail.
This is a pattern that Trump's administration has been doing now for months.
Okay, Todd, you can't talk the entire show. You have to stop. Thank you.
Are you going to talk about that later?
You can talk about it later. Yes. Stephen.
Well, I might as well finish it.
Yeah,
now.
he didn't. He didn't wear. Can I say this, Todd? Stop talking. He didn't wear his Senate tag. They didn't know he was part of the Senate. He didn't identify himself. They didn't know who he was. So he started screaming and he started lurching himself towards her. And that's what happened. And Todd, shut up. You talked for a long time. Shut up, Todd. Shut up. There's a lot of political violence going on. I don't know if you know this or not, but a lot of people are getting killed. Todd, I know you're just so whatever, glad hand, so happy for your side. I don't know what your problem is, but there's a lot of people on our side getting killed. There's Jews getting killed. There's a lot of people getting killed for political violence, and they thought this guy was a violent person. So they got him out of the room. They gently put him on the floor and they put handcuffs on him. This didn't work. This guy here, this little piece of garbage, wanted to have something visual to say, I've been so hurt. They treated me so bad. It's just like Jesse Smollett that had a fake noose around his neck and the MAGA people did it. These are other fake leftists like you, and it's not working, nobody believes it anymore. Nobody believes it. You have to understand, we're done with you. We're done with your antics. And it's we have a real person in charge now. We have real people in charge that are making this country better and making the world better. Look around, Todd. The only thing you did was your side was to crap all over the world. We're cleaning up your crap and we're making the world a better place. You support Iran. We're kicking Iran's ass.
We're not
That's just one example.
Stop there. Stop there. Thank you. We're not talking about that now. Let me share my screen and move on to this terrible, terrible tragedy.
And good morning to you. I'm Gio Benitez. We are following breaking news right now. Sources telling ABC News that 2 Minnesota state lawmakers have been shot in what law enforcement officials say was a targeted incident. Let's get right on the phone now with ABC News Chief Investigative Reporter Josh Margolin. Josh, you've been following this all morning long. What do we know right now?
Gio, good morning. It's a very, very serious situation just north of Minneapolis in the Hennepin County suburbs, highly populated area. We have a former Speaker of the State House and a state senator, both Democrats. Not saying that party has anything to do with it at all at this point, but both are Democrats. Apparently, they were in their separate homes near each other, and allegedly they were shot by the same perpetrator. Perpetrator is now on the run. The injuries are serious, grave. It's a very serious situation. The governor is on site, as is the FBI.
And I know that you're learning that the FBI is now involved. We believe at this point that the shooter was impersonating law enforcement?
Yes, that is believed to be what happened. The shooter was definitely apparently wearing some sort of tactical gear and reported to be looking like impersonating law enforcement. That could ultimately not be the case when they finally get a hold of the shooter. But part of this is they wanted to alert the local population. This is somebody who needs to be considered very, very dangerous.
We're also learning here, Josh, that both of these lawmakers were shot at their homes. Is that right?
Yes, apparently both at their homes. Law enforcement was very, very quick to say these are targeted attacks. That is language that they use when they want the public to know there's not some sort of active shooter randomly shooting at people outside. But yes, they were targeted at their homes. And as you know, Gio, state lawmakers tend to be highly accessible. They're members of the community, members of the population, mothers at PTA meetings and parents who go to Little League games.
All right, Josh Margolin, our chief investigator.
All right, so let me share the screen and give you an update on what has happened since then, and then we'll hear your comments.
And this morning, the man suspected of killing a Minnesota Democratic lawmaker, her husband, and shooting another lawmaker and their spouse is now behind bars following a 2-day manhunt. Vince Bolter reportedly carried out those attacks Saturday before running from police.
And hundreds of local, state, and federal officers were searching for him. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the latest on the suspect and the makeshift memorial growing outside the state capitol.
Good morning. The community is reacting to the capture of the suspect for the shooting attacks that have put Minnesota on edge. Now questions are growing about possible motives behind the attack. This morning, the manhunt for the suspect wanted in the shooting of 2 Minneapolis lawmakers and their spouses comes to an end. Overnight, police arresting Vance Bolter near his farm in Green Isle, southwest of Minneapolis. Police now calling this the largest manhunt in Minnesota state history. The search lasting nearly 2 days after the shootings happened.
That's 48 hours that law enforcement involved in a complex and dangerous manhunt. Spent Father's Day away from their families to deliver justice for Melissa and Mark Hortman and their children who spent this Father's Day alone.
Bolter is accused of killing former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, and in a separate incident shooting State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. The violence underscoring a troubling trend. Threats to elected officials are on the rise. Nationally, 43% of state lawmakers reported facing threats during their most recent term in office and the preceding campaign. Meanwhile, a makeshift memorial for Hortman and her husband continues to grow outside the state capitol in Minnesota. Visitors leaving flowers, signs, and American flags to honor the lives lost. Senators will receive a bipartisan security briefing when they return to work later today.
Okay, what a horrible, our hearts, our thoughts, and our prayers go out to the families of those Minnesota
victims.
Those Minnesota victims. It's just unimaginable right before Father's Day. What a horrible, horrible, horrible. We pray for their families. Horrible, horrible nightmare that had to be for their children and their families. And to say it's politically motivated, and then for a senator to go and post something on his Twitter page about this tragedy is outrageous and unexcusable. Let me show you. GOP senator deletes posts after or about Minnesota shootings after there was an uproar. The post said, "This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way." Senator Mike Lee, a Republican, said that, and this was written on the Wall Street Journal. That was horrible, and I'm sure Keith and Stephen and Todd, you can all agree that was a horrible thing to say after those people were killed. I mean, where is God's mercy? Where is God's grace after lives were lost?
No,
Keith?
that's just
Keith? I can't hear you.
It sounds to me more like it's directed at the shooter. I mean, he's the Marxist, for not because he didn't get his way. He's obviously, he goes after, lawmakers. And I think that this tragedy also tells me more than ever, because of my profession or what I do, being a self-defense instructor, I have to say that, people are going to have to prepare. I don't care whether you're Democrat or Republican right now. I'm speaking to every decent, God-fearing person. You've got to be trained. You got to be prepared, because violence is a factor that is increasing. It's increasing, and lawlessness is increasing. That affects all of us, whether you're Democrat or Republican. Remember, Scalise just survived. Scalise barely survived a shooting when they tried to kill him. So, Trump, they tried to kill him twice. So it doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or Republican in this sense. There's somebody out there that's going to hate you, and somebody out there is trying to kill you. The scripture says Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus said, I am come that you may have life more abundantly.
And live more abundantly. Stephen, your comments about this tragic.
Wasn't I just talking about political violence, and that if somebody doesn't identify themselves and they jump towards somebody who's way high in the political thing, then they're going to get thrown down to the ground. And he was treated with kid gloves. He was treated very easily. That's political violence I'm talking about. And this guy here, he's a really bad dude. And you know what? The people on the left, this is what they do. They don't have ideas. They don't have thoughts. They can't debate. They can't do anything. The only thing they can do is be violent. And then they tell us, because they project, because of January 6th. No, he wasn't. It's all BS. It'll come out. All of that's BS.
Okay, so
all of that's
you
BS.
never believe anything.
But because of January 6th, that was a setup, and everybody knows it was a setup. That everybody feel.
To the point, please, so we can move on. Can you stick to the point? Don't let Todd sidetrack you. Please move on.
No, he already sidetracked me. That's what he does, because he doesn't want to get my point up. No, that's fine. Yeah, everything's this is what the left does. They don't have what the American people want. So what they do is they do violence, they do things, and they scare people, they intimidate people. We don't do this on this side. That's why January 6th, you should know instinctively that wasn't Trump people doing anything that was bad, because we don't do that stuff. The people on the left always do. They did it in 2020. They did it for an entire summer. They burnt down federal buildings. They took over police departments. They killed cops. They ripped people out of their cars. They did everything they could. You know what? Who doesn't do it? The Trump MAGA people do not act like that.
Okay,
but now they're not going to be able.
Okay, thank you. You have to stop talking. Thank you. Now we're looking.
Because now we will run.
we're looking at the Wall Street Journal article showing a picture of Senator Mike Lee, a Republican who represents Utah. He has faced mounting calls to apologize for posts made from his personal, not his Senate, but his personal X account, where he said things like, "This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way."
That's true. They're violent.
Cousin Todd.
Right.
Now,
That's right. That's what a Marxist does.
Oh my gosh.
That's what the Marxists do. They're violent.
Won't stop.
Fuck those people.
That shooter is a Marxist.
You are horrible people.
Shut up. Shut
that
up.
shooter, I bet you he's not a.
Shut up. Oh, they're so dumb. It hurts my feelings. Now, for that congressperson to say that was insensitive, dumb, ignorant, and when these kinds of things happen, I always say, I hope this kind of thing happens to his family. And then let me see if he's able to tweet so fast. It was ridiculous. Now,
well, you're just as bad for hoping that it happens to his family.
Oh, well.
God holds you accountable for that too, my friend.
Right. So anyway, I always think people that do that deserve that. Now, neither one of them talked about this shooter doing that. They pretend he's a Democrat. He was not a Democrat. He was a registered. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Okay, they don't believe anything unless.
Are you saying I deserve that, Todd? Is that what you're saying? What do I deserve, Todd? Tell me what I deserve, Todd. Because I'm such a bad guy. People like me deserve what? What do I deserve, Todd?
You deserve.
Tell me. What do I deserve?
Shut up. I can tell you. You deserve to be put back to where you belong. Go back to where you came from. You seem Irish to me. You should be deported back to Ireland. That's all.
That's not what you were saying, Todd.
I gotta move on.
That is what I was saying. That's exactly.
I know what you were saying. I know what you're saying.
You said that we're gonna get rid of people like you and get them out of the country. Well, that's un-American, and you can't get rid of me or anybody else.
I don't want to get rid of you. I don't want to get rid of you.
You've said that week after week after week, and Stacey.
No, I have not.
Clips if you want. Anyway,
yeah, we can share the clips. I didn't say that.
You're a con artist.
I said if you don't want to be here, get out.
Anyway, he said we're going to get rid of people like you. We're going to throw you out of the country because you hate America. So we go, and this is what he says weekly. So
if you genuinely hate America, you need to leave.
I'll have a clip for you next week, dum dum, and then he'll say, "I don't remember saying that." Well, I didn't.
No,
really
if you have a clip, I can't argue. I want to see the clips.
Okay, thank you. I got to move on. This argument we have to move on. Let me share this clip of another example of an elected official being
arrested and manhandled. This is what Trump's people are doing.
Right.
Like they did January 6th.
Here in the hallway, I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking that you for a judicial warrant. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Asking questions.
We go too. Sorry. No way. Upstate. Where are you taking him? Hello.
Hi, I'm the Comptroller's Press Secretary. Where are you taking the Comptroller of the City of New York?
And with what authority?
Why are you arresting the city controller? And where are you taking him? No.
Number one is going to go with him, all right? Hang on for his number one. Hold on.
Who's number one?
This is number one right here, all right? Thank you.
You don't have to. I'm not obstructing. I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant.
You're arresting the
By asking that you for a judicial warrant. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Press, we go too. Sorry. No way. Upstate. Where are you taking him? Hello.
Hi, I'm the Comptroller's Press Secretary. Where are you taking the Comptroller of the City of New York?
And with what authority?
With what
Why are you
authority?
arresting the city controller? And where are you taking him?
We got the security details. Number one is going to go with him, all right? Hang on for his number one. Hold on.
Who's number one?
This is number one right here, all right?
This is outrageous. It's
so
beyond that.
What's
This is
odd
Russia.
What's odd is cousin Todd. How many times did this possibly happen to those who marched during the civil rights movement and no one knew where they went?
This is a repeat of that.
How do you compare this to the civil rights? How do you compare that to civil rights march?
I'll tell you how. Because police were acting unruly. They were the ones beating Black people in the heads for no reason.
Right. They were doing something wrong. These guys aren't beating people in the heads. They're getting bad people out of this country.
He said, Stacey, they were doing something wrong. He said those blacks that were beat.
No, I said the cops were doing something wrong to the Black people. They shouldn't have done them like that. But ICE is not doing anybody like that.
Just a minute. Why was
They're not doing anybody like that, Todd? They're trying to get illegal.
I said,
do you want?
Okay,
listen to the question, dummy. Why was this man arrested? Why was he arrested?
I don't know. Do you know?
Yes, I know,
Why?
dummy. Because he's not a Trump licker like you.
That's not.
I don't think that's correct. I don't think you're correct.
That's not why he was arrested. He was arrested or he was handcuffed because he had connected himself physically to a person who ICE was removing from a particular place, and he would not leave that person. And they wanted to separate the city controller from the person he had physically connected himself to, who ICE was removing. So they removed him. That's why.
Now you know. Now you know, Todd.
Well, I knew, dummy, because I told her about it.
You didn't know because that's not what you said, dumb. You don't even know every time you lie. You lie so much you can't keep your lies straight. That's why Keith and I, we always tell the truth. We ain't never got to worry about anything we say. We ain't never got to worry about anything we say. We tell the truth. Everything comes out of our mouth. The truth, whole truth, number truth will help us God. Right, Keith? Will help us God.
Anyway, you need your boy Toy to help you through every conversation.
All right,
Todd,
no, don't drag me into your hell. Don't drag me into your hell.
Your point. We're out of time. I've got to move on. Do you
my
have
point was, I knew the story. I'm the one that told Stacey the story, you dumb. Now,
okay.
These arrests are happening over and over again for no reason.
Yes, they're illegal and they got to go.
This is the fourth arrest from a sitting congressperson. But they don't put them under arrest. They just detain them temporarily. Then they let them go because they can't charge them with anything. But they're just showing you.
We should send them to El Salvador prison so they can start appreciating the United States with AOC and all the rest of the squad. All of them should go to El Salvadorian prison.
They should send them. Now remember,
to El Salvadorian prison so they can appreciate the United States and stop bad mouthing the USA.
Said, oh no, I didn't say they should send them out of the country. I never
send all of you out. You hate this country. Get out. If I said it before, I'll say it now. I'll quadruple down 4 times over. Get out of this country if you don't love it. Get out of this country if you don't love this country and you don't want to try to make it a better country for everybody, because that's all the left does. You don't want to make this country a better country for everybody.
Okay, you can't keep talking. Todd, you can't keep talking. Make
if
your
that's
point.
where you want to be, get out.
Make your point so I can move on.
Okay,
if you don't love it, leave it.
This is my point. I want white crackers like him to go back to where they came from, which is back to Europe before they came and invaded this country. If you are Caucasian and you are living in America, you, in fact, are an invader. Go
That's not
home.
true.
Get back to where you came from.
That's not true.
Hi, Felicia. Go home. Go home.
Go home. Go home.
Go home.
This is the white man's country.
Look at the devil. Look at that devil.
The white man's burden.
The white man.
Right.
Look at this devil. That's Lucifer you're looking at. This the white man. How could somebody even marry you?
This is such a bad country that the only thing we want is for everybody to prosper and everybody to get along. We want everybody of every race to get along in this melting pot. But Todd doesn't want it. Todd just wants to bitch like a 13-year-old girl. This country's set up for everybody to live in here all together and have prosper and have so much money and have so much happiness and have the milk and honey. This is what I want for you, Todd. But all you do is cry like a little girl. Leave the country and find out how good this country is, and then come back. But you're going to have to pay to come back. You're going to have to pay to come back.
Stole it and killed those people.
Nobody stole anything. We fought, we won, or we paid money. We did everything above.
It was a tremendous success with a fantastic audience. It was supposed to rain. They gave it a 100% chance of rain, and it didn't rain at all. It was beautiful. And so I asked if they gave it 100% chance, right? 100% it was going to rain.
Fake news.
Crazy, and it
Fake
didn't rain
weather.
at all. How did they predict 100 years out and 50 years out or 200 years out? They didn't do too well, the weather people, last night, but it was beautiful.
President, are you and Prime Minister Netanyahu on the same page how to deal with Iran?
Well, we get along very well, and I will tell you that I think I have great respect for each other.
Can you give us
Go ahead, what?
Mr. President, can you give us a sense of what you're doing to try to de-escalate the situation between Iran and Israel?
Well, I hope there's going to be a deal. I think it's time for a deal, and we'll see what happens. But sometimes they have to fight it out, but we're going to see what happens. I think there's a good chance there'll be a deal. What? So the protesters, if we didn't have the National Guard on call and ready, they would rip Los Angeles apart. They come and they check and they say, is the National Guard going to be there? And if the National Guard's being there, they don't even show up.
Have you asked Israel to pause their airstrikes into Iran?
Well, I don't want to say that.
Mr. President, do you expect to have some trade deals announced at the G7 summit coming up?
Look, we have our trade deals. All we have to do is send a letter. This is what you're going to have to pay. But I think we'll have a few new trade deals, yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Could you ask for a better president? It's the best time to be alive. It's the best time to be an American. You couldn't ask for a better president right now.
Can I ask you about that, President? What about the tariffs? Is he going to put tariffs on China?
The tariffs are actually working, and about 85% of the people out here believe that the tariffs are actually working. What he's doing is making sense. Dude, listen.
I want you all to stop talking because I didn't say anything. So how are y'all going to just go ahead to me and talk about subject I'm not even ready to talk about? I'm still talking about look at what's going along the screen. Israel-Iran war. He said there should be a deal. But the question is, what did President Trump do during his first administration to ensure that Iran did not accumulate enough uranium in order to be in this position? Cousin Todd?
Oh, I thought you were going to go to the crackpots. I'll tell you what he did. He tore up the deal that was made. And that's all he did. He did not try to stop them by coming up with his own deal. He just tore up the deal. And that was it. There's no more deal.
It was a bad deal.
So now,
wait a minute. Stephen just said it was a bad deal. So he tore it up with nothing to replace it. Just like he said oh God, he's so stupid. You know, and I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation. He replaced it. He did not. You're just making that up.
So we're looking at, I'm showing,
he wanted to get rid of it, but not replace it.
So I'm showing this article from the Arms Control Association. Trump's failing Iran policy. This was written June 2019 by Daryl Kimball, executive.
2019? Did you say 2019?
Yes, it was written 2019 because it was about.
Why are we worried about 2019? It's 2025.
Because
she's going to tell you, dumb.
Because it's about what President Trump did
or didn't do
during his presidency. He said 1 year after President Donald Trump withdrew, the United States from the multilateral 2015 Iran nuclear agreement, the deal is in deep trouble. The deal
Okay.
as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action has successfully rolled back Iran's nuclear capabilities and put its activities under tighter monitoring, easing international concerns about Tehran's nuclear ambitions. It says, not surprisingly, Trump's ill-conceived maximum pressure campaign, which involves reimposing sanctions that were lifted when Iran met key JCPOA requirements, has done nothing to force changes in Iran's regional behavior or push Iran into accepting new United States demands. Rather, the policy has sharply increased tensions in the Persian Gulf and decreased Iran's incentives to continue compliance with the JCPOA. So I'm going to ask you, Stephen, considering that and considering the fact that Iran had 3.67% of uranium enrichment in 2015 under that deal, and now they have 60% of uranium enrichment and not far from reaching, they have 60% right now. They have to reach 90% to have a nuclear weapon. They're at 60%.
That's not true.
Okay, let me show you the article. They have.
I mean, you can show me an old article, but I'm saying they're very close now. That's why Israel attacked them.
Oh gosh!
I just said that. Okay, wait a minute. I just said
he's so dumb.
They have 60%. They need 90% to have a nuclear.
No,
bomb.
Stacy, they would not. They would not have it. They don't. That's not true. They don't. They would not have attacked them if they weren't a couple weeks or a week away from having everything they need. All they need is 2 nuclear bombs, and they can take out Israel. All they need is 2 nuclear bombs. That's why Israel did what they did. I don't care what your article says. I don't care what you're showing me. I don't care.
Of course not.
This is why they did what they did. This is why. This is why they. This is why they did what they did, because it's an intimate threat. They have to take them out now. And whatever Trump did, 6 years, 5, whatever years ago, it doesn't matter. What he's doing right now with Israel is they're working in tandem right now. They don't want anybody to know. But I'm going to let you know, they're working in tandem right now, and they're dismantling Iran. And that's what they've been doing. That's why they took out Hezbollah. They took out Hamas. They took out everything that Iran has around the world. They've taken them all. They've taken them all out. And then Israel just took out all the generals. Todd, shut up. Todd, you don't know nothing, Todd. Shut up, Todd. So they took out all the generals. They took out the nuclear scientists. They took out everybody that Iran has. Iran has nothing left. Iran is a joke. Iran is a skeleton of what they used to be. And all of the people of Iran want to get rid of the mullahs who are in charge of them, Todd. But your asshole Barack Hussein Obama did not back them when they all stood up against the mullahs. Your Barack Hussein Obama did not stand up with these people. And the Iranian people are good people. But now we're all going to stand, us Trump people who aren't half black or all evil like Obama was. And we're going to stand up for these people who have been under our goddamn boot for decades because of Jimmy Carter and dumbasses like you, Todd.
Okay,
this is a time.
We're out of time. Thank you, Keith.
We're going to collapse. No, we're going to collapse.
You can't go
we're going
to on and on and on.
Iran is done.
You're not. You have to stop.
Iran is done.
Thank you, Keith. I don't know what's so funny. Keith, I don't know what's so funny about the seriousness of this situation between Israel and Iran. This is very serious.
Well, I'll say it again. I'll say this and I'll say it over and over. God's got this under control. All we do is pray. We as a Christian, I'm a Christian, so I pray for them. And I know Israel will come out on top. They will win in the end. And the Lord himself is the only one that will stamp out all of this evil altogether when he returns. He will judge. But in the meantime, Trump is doing his job, what God has called him to do, and so is Israel. So we got to fight. We're going to be fighting until Jesus comes. But that's what's going on.
Do you mean we have to go to war? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we'll go to war. We'll go to war.
Are you going to war, or do you have any children, or any of your blood going to be shed? This is what people like
well,
you say.
sir,
Yeah, we go to war, and you're not.
sir,
You're a
the
draft
men,
dodger.
the men
You're a
and
draft
women, the
dodger.
men and
thank you.
women who
We're out of
signed up,
time.
those men and women who volunteered to protect their country, they will go to war.
They're not
And
going to war for
Christ will end it.
Israel.
Christ will end
Okay,
it.
my turn, Stacey.
Go ahead, Cousin Todd.
They're not going to war for Israel. You go
They
to war
will.
for Israel. You're the same one that said we should stop giving Israel money. This is what you said.
Yes,
Lucifer.
that's right. That's right.
So
we should stop giving them money and give them
So,
help. We should
we
give
should
them
give them
help
our
with our
lives.
military.
We should give them our lives and not give them
Yes.
money.
Yeah, we should give them
Iran wants to wipe out Israel.
Okay, stop talking.
Nobody's talking
Finish
to
up,
you.
Cousin Todd. Finish
So
up, please.
this is what I'm saying. Donald Trump did not want Putin. He got two boy toys, Putin and Bibi Netanyahu. He did not want Benjamin Netanyahu to bomb them. But you're too dumb to know it because you didn't get that from Fox News. Trump said that himself. And then Trump said, look it up, dum-dum. We had nothing to do with that. That's what Trump said. Now look that up, dumb black loogies. That's what Trump said initially, because he didn't want that. He said, now how are they going to negotiate a deal if he's
It's going to
doing
happen.
that?
We're
And
going to
so
have a.
I'm
they're
just
gonna be
telling
fighting.
you what your master said. Your master said we had nothing to do with that. Stacey, did you read that?
War is inevitable. Sorry.
Stacey,
Iran wants to wipe you off the map. Iran wants to
I'm
kill you.
telling
Why are you on Iran's
I'm
side?
telling you what your hero said. Your hero
War
said
is
Iran
we
wants
have
to
nothing,
destroy
and they don't
you
want
in
to hear
Israel.
that. Dude, Iran, I'm in a trance because all I hear is the
War
dark
is
web.
inevitable.
Okay,
So-
thank you. We're out of
I
time.
don't want to go to war.
Is inevitable.
Okay, stop talking, please. Cousin Todd, I was unable to find or play the video that you wanted to play.
Okay, but the bottom line is, you know that Trump said we had nothing to do with that.
Yes, Trump did say that.
Surprise, you dumb black loogies. That's number one. Number two, did he say that?
Trump had nothing to do with what?
Trump said that he had
look how
nothing to do
dumb.
with the initial attack that Israel made on Iran.
He had nothing to do with it.
He had nothing to do with it. Look, I just changed my tone. I'm flip-flopper. He had nothing to do with it.
I'm saying he had nothing to do with it. We don't know. How do we don't know?
I said
Okay, thank
that.
you. We're out of time.
Yes, we
Thank
do
you.
know.
We're out of time.
Benjamin Netanyahu does not respect or listen to American presidents. He
Okay,
runs
thank you.
roughshod all over them.
We're out of time. To our first responders in our communities, you make our lives livable. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the women and men of the U.S. military for all that you do in sacrificing your lives so that we are free to say whatever we choose to on this show. We are forever indebted. On behalf of Aguna, the voice of reason, who was unable to join us, Keith, the constitutional conservative, Stephen,
Aguna has laryngitis, obviously.
the independent thinker,
I'm gonna
and my cousin Todd.
Todd.
I'm gonna
I'm
put
Stacey
Aguna under
Johnson.
suspension.
Let's keep this conversation going on X. Please like and subscribe us on our YouTube channel at Sporlitics. Check us out on TikTok at sporlitics.com. That's our address on TikTok, sporlitics.com. Please like and check us out on Instagram, Twitch, Stephanie Stallworth, the Flow Television Network. And did I leave any other social media out? Oh, Facebook at Sporlitics. And we'll see you next week.
Stephen bought Keith's flowers. How nice.
Thank you, Keith. I'm enjoying them very much. Thank you, brother.
Keith didn't buy those. He probably stole them. You know what I wanted to say, but I didn't say it while we were on the air.
We're still on the air. You didn't say it when we were.
Oh, I didn't know we were still
about-
on
we're
the
still on
air.
the
I thought we were done. I don't think I should say it.
Are we done?
Hey, you know,
done?
a man will say what he feels, not and keep his words to one who kneels or whatever it says.
Are we done?
So if you're a man, say whatever you want. Say whatever's in your heart, Todd.
Okay. I don't think you are going to marry Keith because I think you're a big talker. And
Well,
you're
I'm
stringing
sorry
him
I
along
told you to talk. I'm sorry you
because
said that. Don't
you
break my heart.
figure, why should you buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
I can't argue with that.
I'm not. I would never leave my wife for another man, sir. Just so you know.
I'm not really sure why it is to go in this position, but
Yeah, Todd, stop saying that. He keeps telling you, stop saying that, Todd. He's married to a woman. He's heterosexual. Stop saying that. And you keep insinuating something.
Hey,
different.
Todd, have you ever been married?
Yeah.
Oh, Todd's been
4
married.
times. So now listen.
Todd, I
let me say
believe
this.
that like I believe when you talk about sports.
Oh,
I got the same feeling from you. You talk about sports and marriage with the same tone in your voice.
Okay.
I know a lot about sports and marriage.
Well, seriously, Todd.
This is what I was
Seriously,
going to
guys,
say.
don't worry about the Israel's conflict. It's going to be going on until Jesus comes, and He will stop it. It's
That's
not. No
correct.
man
But
will
you know,
stop it.
Iran doesn't have anything. The only thing that can hurt that is
Yeah.
China and North Korea or somebody else coming in to
Yeah.
help them. That's the only thing. Just China, you know, maybe Russia, but Russia's got their own deal going.
No, the Arabs are not going to allow Benjamin to just keep killing these
Right,
people.
the Arabs want to take over the entire world. They want to kill every Jew and every American.
So wait,
That's what the Arabs want to do. But some reason you're on their side. You know what that makes you? Not so smart.
You're crazy.
You're not so smart.
You just said
Because they want to kill you.
Slow down, dummy.
Keith and I are on the side of people who don't want to kill us.
Slow down. You just said 2 different things. But
I did not.
You said, oh, they can't do anything unless they get Russia to help them. They got to get Russia. And I said, the Arabs are not going to allow. The Arabs going to take over everything. The Arabs going to. Yeah, oh
What I'm saying is the Arabs want to take over everything. That's why we let our borders to be open like they are right now. We have Arabs coming that have come through our borders, and they want to take over this country the way they've done Germany and France. When you have to have closed borders because these Arab peoples have been taking over land and people forever. And if you don't subscribe to what they say, they're not good people. They're not good people, dude.
Stop building on Arab land.
That's not, nobody's building on Arab land. They're taking over territory in England, Germany, France. They're taking over Europe. They're taking over this country. Yes, they are. You got to look into it, Todd.
All right. Good night. See you next week. Bye.
Okay. Goodbye.
Hey, I got to give you clarity there. I got to bring some clarity here. I remember when I said that it's a white man's country, Todd.
Yeah. Listen at
Now,
that.
the reason I said that was because all 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence were white men. All 55 signers of the Constitution were white men.
And all
the
of the natives who were killed were by white men.
The government that was instilled in the United States of America was instilled by white men. Now, having said that,
they did it. Living here.
They did it. They established it for all people.
They did
not.
Everybody of every color, of women, men, people of every color.
Hey, dumb.
Todd, you spread misinformation. Keith is telling the truth.
Specifically for white men.
It's not specifically for white men. If it was specifically for white men, you wouldn't be on this show. If it was specifically for white men, none of y'all would be on the show. None of y'all would have jobs, and you would still be picking cotton. That's why they did what they did. Your forefathers are my forefathers, and the Constitution helps every citizen of the United States. And all of y'all should be sick in your stomach about all the millions of illegals they brought into this country unvetted. You ought to be sick to your stomach that you allowed this to happen.
He was a slave. And
who?
That means Keith. Keith
was never a slave. Keith was never a slave.
You weren't a slave,
he might,
white boy, because
he might slavenly love his wife. I don't know. But Keith was never a slave.
And nor did women. white women had no right to vote or anything else, dum-dum.
Everything took time. Everything took
It
time.
doesn't take time.
It does take time. Everything took time.
Good night. See you
And
next
we
week.
and the way these white women have been voting lately, we still shouldn't let them vote.
Listen at the devil. The devil is a liar.
The white liberal women,
Steven.
they're horrible
Steven.
women.
That?
The cat ladies.
I'm gonna see what
If you
TikTok
own more
has
than
to
4
say about
cats, you're
that.
not allowed to vote, man.
Right on, Steven.
Listen at his boy toy.
Good night.
Goodbye.